We are here at the Mad Poet Show. Thank you for coming in, for taking your time out of your schedule to watch me play guitar and do Mad Poet stuff, which is what I do on Fridays. I do it all the other days too, I just don't broadcast it. Because pretty much what I do is hang out playing guitar and eating pizza. I already ate pizza today, so I'm good. So I see we got a new follower, Haas00312_. Thank you very much for the follow. I saw that came up just before the show started. And I had a few followers from earlier today / last night. Some people came in and followed, so thank you all very much. I hope you are enjoying it. I'll tell you what, this is already going 20 times better than the earlier show did. I usually leave all my past videos up from my streams, but as soon as the early show was done, I went in and deleted the videos from YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, the places that saved my streams. Those are gone. The early show was not a good show. I was not at my best. Sometimes that happens. I can tell right away things are going much more smoothly. Very happy about it. Hopefully that will continue through the show, and we will have a decent show here tonight. That's part of what I'm looking for at all times, of course. I like to entertain well. So we're playing Attending the Shenanigans. This is my 30th album of 64. And this is a weird album for me in a lot of ways. I think that may have contributed some of my difficulties. It's a little too early for me to handle that kind of weirdness, even though it was noon. That's early on musician's hours. I don't work a normal job. I teach music and do this stuff and record. So that's definitely early on musician's hours, but it's kind of a weird album. And it was some of what I did in the compositional phase of this particular album was done experimentally. So some of the stuff in here is a little weird. That first song, which I don't even recall what the title is, doesn't matter. That's a pretty normal one for me. That's kind of my standard issue stuff. This next one is also kind of on the normal side. Later in the show, we're going to get into some of the stuff that's a little different. But it's fun for me to do as a guitar player, because it takes me out and makes me think about what I'm actually doing. Where a lot of times I'm doing these improvisational solos and I'm just completely, being in their head, which is also part of my standard mode of operations. Fun nonetheless. But as any of my regular viewers will know, on every album that I do, I dedicate a song to someone. Yeah, someone that I like, someone that I know, someone that some sort of colleague, associate, friend, relative type of thing. Weirdness is good, Susan. You are so right. And you are the right kind of person to know about it. Susan is a student of mine. And one thing I've said about Susan, I'm willing to repeat it here because I know that she very much likes this statement. Susan makes weird music and she does it well. And coming from me, that's a big compliment. So stay weird, people. Stay weird. You heard it from Susan. Weird is good. All right. On every album, I dedicate a song to someone. And this next piece is called Molecular Vandalism. We're getting into some C# minor action here. This is dedicated to my close friend, Tadashi. He is just an amazing guy. And there was this great description of how our friendship started, where someone was describing how Tadashi and Randy met, and she said, Tadashi and Randy met and they bonded like wood glue. And I'm like, that is completely true about Tadashi and I. I know that unfortunately Tadashi is not able to catch the show tonight. You cannot chat on Twitch. That's interesting, Therese. I don't know why that would be. Intriguing. I'm just gonna pull my channel up real quick and see if there's any weirdness here. Real quick and see. And then I'm talking on it. Interesting. I am able to chat on Twitch. I don't know, maybe try refreshing your monitor or stay on YouTube. So that's all I got. Just out of curiosity, if I chat directly from Restream. Yeah, okay. Weird. Randy does not know. Nonetheless, let's get back to my man Tadashi. He's amazing. And yeah, someone that I don't see nearly as often as I would like, but that's true of quite a few of my friends, since I live out in the middle of freaking nowhere. Or as I like to say, we don't actually live in the middle of nowhere, but we are within walking distance of it. So, Tadashi, this is going out for you, buddy. Sarah, welcome into the show. This is Molecular Vandalism. Oh, and now I'm definitely off of my app. Boom, here we go. this. I'm glad Super Muffin's back because this set is going so much better than the one this morning. That actually felt really good. I wish Tadashi could have seen that performance of it. I know he likes the piece. So yeah, Super Muffin, I was kind of just glancing at your questions here. Yeah, welcome back, certainly. And what is on the discussion? So yeah, I'm guessing you're asking about the, it's kind of hard to see right now, but just a little TMP. It's actually, what I did is that's the box that our satellite, for our satellite internet came in. And I just cut out the letters on there, and I had an extra one of these lights. I stuck it in there and just have it kind of cycling through colors. So that's all that is. It's covered with a black sheet. And then what Sarah's referring to is on my actual monitor in front of me. Because I have written an awful lot of music, I don't memorize the music. So let me adjust my guitar gate here, because that's getting under my skin. Take that to -76, and that should help. So yeah, on my main screen that you are unable to see, I actually do have my sheet music kind of scrolling by at the correct tempo. It's a weird setup. And that's so that I don't have to memorize all of this. So when I'm doing the guitar solos, that's actually just improvised. So like on that last piece, Molecular Vandalism, I'm just gonna show you something here. So what I do is you'll see this here. So this area here where it says 4 4 6 6 5. So that's actually a special kind of music just for guitar. It's called tablature. But that basically that would sound like. So like that's written in, and then the. The sheet. So that's what you're looking at now. So that's what I look at to know what I should be playing. So it tells me the key and the tempo, and it's scrolling by. And so like the rhythm guitar parts, again, when I'm matching what the recorded guitars are doing, I don't have that memorized, so I'm reading that off of the sheet music. And that's what that is, yeah. So that's how I do it. It's a very complex setup that I've got here. I've had a few people request that I do a kind of a studio tour video. I'm really kind of behind the scenes. I still need to work on some stuff before I'm ready to do a studio tour video. But it's a very complex setup. It works great. It took me a long time to get it set up. But thanks for the question. That's a great one. Absolutely. And basically what I do is I have a channel in my recording program that tells my computer like when to turn the lights on and off. And I got to program all that in. It tells it when to switch cameras and when to switch it to the sheet music and all of that kind of stuff. So it's been frustrating at times. It's been fun. And that's what I do. So yeah, and Glenn, or who goes by Dr. Gack on here, is correct. I don't actually take requests, though. Thank you for asking. And that's because I do the originals, and I'm basically set up with one album's worth of music in my system. It's really hard for me to jump around the way that I'm set up. I know there are a lot of great musicians on Twitch, YouTube, and I'm streaming to like 11 different websites right now. And a lot of people, they will do the acoustic guitar, just like some piano stuff, because that gives them the versatility they need, where they don't want to be locked in. Like for me, I'm pretty much locked into just the 8 songs that are on Attending the Shenanigans, and that's what I'm playing tonight. So even at that, if you wanted to make a request, the only request you could make right now would be a song off of this album. But since those are all coming up anyway, and it's just because that is the way that my setup works. Because I'm playing the one guitar part, and then everything else is recorded in advance, and so it's kind of set in stone. So even if someone was to say like, hey, could you play I Find Peace in the Rain, which is off my 25th album, I would be like, no, sorry, no can do. Because I've never even programmed lights for that album, for example. I've never played that one live, so it would just be completely unprepared for that. But so yeah, it's definitely a different thing than a lot of streamers are doing. But you know, like I said, there are a lot of just great musicians all over these websites, and this is my little corner of it. And hopefully we're having fun. So yeah, welcome Mom and Dad. Glad to see you here as always. And welcome everyone, whoever's here. I noticed we got Glenn, we got Super Muffin, we got Miss Sarah, we got my parents. I think we saw Therese in here. And I know we had some new followers today. So yes, welcome all, thank you all. I should probably shut up and play some music. That is a request I can take. D in Solitude. Now this is one, so D in Solitude was the song that shot me into superstardom back before they sent me over to the Nom. Yeah. Okay, Glenn. For you, baby. Okay, I gotta warm up for a little bit of D in Solitude. This is one of the most complex songs that's ever been written. This was what Bach was trying to create when he did what he did. Okay. Stretched out here. Okay. D in Solitude. Very possibly the most amazing thing I've ever played, that any musician's ever played in the history of anything, anywhere, ever. Absolutely stunning. I think I'm crying a little bit. And you guys are going to cry a little bit when you find out what's going to happen next. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the G sharp minor portion of the show. You are welcome. This song is called What Just Happened? Right, what's going down in Groovetown, people? Little G sharp minor action for you there. Okay, I dropped a pick. I don't know where it went. It's okay, I got more. I'll use this one, which is identical to the one I just dropped, because I've got like hundreds of these things. Hey, I do want to talk about Dr. Gack here for a moment, because Dr. Gack and another one of my regulars, who just goes by Doc, they're in a band together. They're called Dexter Disciples. And Glenn, feel free to put the website up. Dexter Disciples just released their first album. It's got some pretty cool stuff on it. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, but they sent me a copy. Came in like last Tuesday or so. It's kind of got a really good, kind of a classic rock / metal type of a vibe to it. They got some pretty cool stuff on it. And I would love to have people supporting my awesome music friends. So feel free to, like I said, Glenn, feel free to put that up and go check them out, guys. They got some pretty cool stuff. And they're also very cool people. I've known Glenn and Jerry for a very long time. Yeah, so check out Dexter Disciples. Killer band name, too. One of the best band names out there. It's just something stupid like, the Mad Poet. You gotta be a jerk to have a handle like that. But I am like the worst guy on the entire west coast of Canada, US, Mexico. I'm terrible. I'm a terrible person. I exercise by pushing children off their bicycles, and I just basically enjoy being mean to people. That's the kind of person I am. Yeah, hey, put that website up, bud. You are absolutely welcome. So this next song, kind of standard E minor stuff, which is very, before I move on, if you're still there, Super Muffin, thanks so much for stopping in. I hope you have a great time at your friend's birthday. Stop in at any of my shows. You're always welcome here. You seem like a very nice person. Hopefully my assessment is correct. But yeah, you're absolutely welcome to come back anytime. Great stuff. So this is where I started getting a little more experimental on this particular album. So the next few tracks got a little bit of weirdness in them. This one's the least of those. But I just kind of play around with some of like the panning and stuff, and I got some different ways of putting guitars in this. It makes it a little different, kind of a challenge to play in a live setting. And I probably need to really just, sit down and work how I would do this better live. Basically, I should practice. Yeah. Musicians don't ever do that. There you go. DexterDisciples.wixsite.com/Grom or Grame, however you wish to say that. But let's get weird. This one, like I said, this is the least of my weirder ones on this album. I think it's the next song that gets into the more of the weird stuff, makes it a little more challenging for me. But basically, these next three songs kind of challenge me a little bit for how I have to think about what I do on my approach. So this song is called "The Demon Loved the Angel." And we are moving on along. Because that's what we do in Mad Poet shows. We just move on along. I'm really glad this is going so much better than it did this morning. I was a little on edge when I came into this one this afternoon. I'm like, did I forget how to play guitar? Am I just not good at this anymore? And fortunately, I'm okay. Coughing, aneurysm, infection, and working on homework. Fortunately, Randy Metal is just what the doctor ordered and infected inflamed eardrums. That sounds like a bad time. I'm not sure what a coughing aneurysm infection is, but it sounds like something I would prefer that people not have to get. So, fighting an ear infection. I'm guessing that's better than a coughing aneurysm infection. Maybe you've just discovered a brand new disease, Therese. I'm not sure, but ear infections still suck. So I do hope that you feel better soon. Yes. Coughing aneurysm infection. Boom. Yeah. I do hope that your pain eases and the things work well. But yeah, metal is probably one of the best ways to fight ear infections. Absolutely. So this is where, for me as a player, this starts to get a little weird. Because what I did on this particular song is I set up so that the solo would not just be all the single note stuff I've been doing. And this, again, was just kind of to push myself into different ways of having to think about what I do. Because a lot of these guitar solos, I don't really think about them. I'm just, I know the patterns, I know where to go, and I'll think about what I want it to feel like, but this I have to give a lot more conscious effort to, because I'm playing chord-based information rather than single notes out of a scale. And even though I think chordally when I function within a scale, this is just a different way of doing it. Yeah, that one, we may have to take note of that in the quote section. Well, yeah, we'll see what you guys think. This one kind of bumps around. It goes from faster to medium paced. The tempos change a lot. I believe the key stays relatively steady in this. I've got some key changes coming up in some other pieces, but yeah. A little weird. The title is very appropriate. Very, very appropriate. This song is called I've Been Thinking About This. don't think I like that song that much. Whatever. It's fun. It's fun. You know, you do 64 albums, you're probably going to experiment a bit. So this next one was definitely also experimental, and this song kind of had a couple of different inspiration areas for me for how I wanted to approach this. And one of them, as I've talked about in other times I've played this album, is Isaac Albeniz. Isaac Albeniz, you may be... If you know that classical guitar piece, kind of hard to play on, actually not a flying V. Really the piece that started my love affair with classical guitar, which I play classical guitar almost every day. And I did my own transcription of that song, putting it back in the original key of G minor, where it's typically on guitar played in E minor, because it was actually written for piano. And the original key doesn't work well for guitar, so I had to do some double drop D tuning and some kind of weirdness to get it there. But one of the things I found when I did it is where there's an area on that where we normally play octaves on classical guitar, and it was originally done with double octaves. And so in my transcription, I put the double octaves back in because it was reasonable with this key and the tuning I used. And so that was partly inspiration for areas of this. And then also there are some Gothic metal bands. Tristania is a big one, and also a subsequent band by a former member of Tristania called Sirenia. And parts of this are inspired by the work they did. So we kind of got some interesting classical piano done on guitar / Gothic metal band inspiration for this. And one thing I want to do, because I think this was a little bit out when I played earlier today, I want to make sure that I'm in tune. And where's my intunerizer tool? That's what they should be called, the intunerizer. Okay, much better. Cool. And now where's my computer mouse at? Awesome sauce. A little of this, a little of that. So we're in tune. And so this one also has some I kind of play around with tempos and keys. So it moves around to a few different places, and it's, no, actually I think this one stays in B minor all the way through. Let me correct myself. This is in B minor. Let's do some B minor, shall we, kids? Yes, yes we shall. And you know why? Because that's what the next song is. And I'm also going to be doing some fingerstyle on this. So we'll be going back and forth to no pick to pick to no pick. Pick to no pick. Pick to no pick. All right. Let's do this. This song is called Under the Protection of Monsters. Oh, wait. Why are my lights not shutting down? Oh. No. Okay. I see what's going on. Thank you for your patience. All right. I think I've got everything in place. This is called Under the Protection of Monsters. Drink lots of water, gangsters. Drink lots of water. Water's good. Okay. So we are moving on along. Continuing with Randy's World of Mad Poet Madness. There's nothing repetitive or redundant about that at all. Such a poet. 64 albums of music, no lyrics. There is something poetic about that, though. Though I will say this, because I know Glenn has been interested, and I believe Therese as well, and some other of my regulars have inquired, because I've mentioned that I have been working on my vocals, and there's an album that I wrote the majority of before I started my rapid fire instrumental stuff, and the album is called the Death Sonnets. And the 3 Death Sonnets songs have been released as an EP. Those do have vocals on them, and I do the growling in those. My friends Brian, Deirdre, and Gitana sang the other vocals, and they're all wonderful vocalists, and they're fantastic to work with. But there's a song on there called The Song of the Long Sky that I demoed with, again, Deirdre and another friend of ours named Beth. Again, wonderful. And I went in last week and I recorded the male vocals on that. And for the first time, I was actually happy with the singing. So I've gotten to where my singing was just so off key, it was hard to listen to where I was like, okay, I've developed my technique. I can hear my pitches correctly. I'm getting there. I would do some recordings and it's like, okay, that's still not there, but I make an improvement. And finally, last week, I did some recordings and I was like, I'm happy with those. I like this. So we are moving in the right direction. So one of my goals for the near future is to start doing some serious lyric writing for the album I'm writing currently called The Thief of Time, which I intend is going to be a lighter album and it's going to have singing all the way through. And my intention is to do that and sing on it. I'm still not going to make any guarantees that album will ever be released to the public, but I feel that I am closer to it than ever before. And so yeah, there are some strong possibilities at that point. And just, kind of playing some of this weird stuff that challenges me in different ways makes me think about that. And I do like to go after the musical challenges, and that's exactly why I haven't released an album in close to a year, is because I felt that it was time to learn more about production and take another step. And I feel that also on my 65th album, which has been recorded for a long time, and I've just been working on the production, definitely in the last few months, I've learned some of the things that I wanted to learn, and I've filled in some of my knowledge gaps, so to speak. And yeah, so there's that. So this next song, I would say the material is somewhat reminiscent of the lighter work that I'm going to do on Thief of Time. I wouldn't say this is like the Thief of Time or that music, but it's kind of at that level. It's definitely a slower piece. And we've only got 2 more pieces tonight. This album only has 8 songs on it. These songs are a bit longer on average than some of my albums, so fewer songs, but still the same amount of time for the album. Usually my albums are 50 to 55 minutes each. And yeah, Glenn, I'm glad you're excited about it. I'm also excited about it because I just feel like having gone from being a very bad singer to being a decent singer, really, that's something I feel is worth being proud of. And my sax, yes, sitting right over here. That will be on album 65, the one that's in production now. So, yeah, we got good stuff coming. Anyway, this is, the title of this next song I think also is quite appropriate to everything I was just talking about, my learning process. And, people talk about knowing things as well as the back of their hand. And this next song is called, How Well Do You Really Know the Back of Your Hand? All right, so we got one more song to go here. You ever really get into your hand, man? It's like the lines are tiny expressways and your thumb is an off-ramp. WKRP in Cincinnati, the old sitcom from what was that? That was like 70s. I was a little guy when we were watching that. That was a fun show from what I recall. Man, that's a good quote. I like that. Cool. It's appropriate to guitar playing too. You're welcome. Thank you, Sarah, for coming to the show. Haven't seen you for nearly 2 hours since we lived together. But it is time to move into the last song of the evening, ladies and / or gentlemen and / or other. Whatever you got going on there in your personal life is okay by me. Because that's what we do here. We are attending the shenanigans. And that's the title of this last song. So let's put on our top hats. This is what it's like when attending the shenanigans. All right, gangsters, that's what I have got for the evening. Again, like I said, I am so glad this show worked out better than the early show did. The early one was pretty freaking rough, but this was awesome. So thank you all so much for coming in. Check out Dexter Disciples. Go to themadpoet.net. I am the Mad Poet. You are an audience. This has been my show. I had a great time. I hope you had a great time as well. I will be back next Friday at noon and again next Friday at 8 o'clock p.m., both in the Pacific time zone. And I hope to see you there. You gangsters,